Hi, I'm Kelly from Kelly J Jewellery. Today I'm going to be showing you how to wrap this little bead pendant. I've written a list in the description below of everything you'll need to make this, so it's all written there. Check it out. Also there's links to my new website. I've finished and uploaded my new website where I've got all my PDFs and all my finished jewelleries on there now, so go and check it out. I'd love to know what you think. And there's a link to my Facebook page for you all to come and share your finished jewellery if you don't mind. That would be really, really awesome. Yep, so let's make this little bead pendant. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. To make this pendant you'll need 0.8mm wire, that's 20 gauge, and I've cut 4 lengths at 14 inches each, that's 35 centimetres. 0.315mm, that's 28 gauge weaving wire, and you'll need about 400 centimetres. I've got an oval bead. This might work with a round bead. This one's quite flat, and mine is 20mm by 15. Tools I've got pliers, round nose pliers, wire cutters. And I think that's it. Let's get started. So I did something crazy and I went out and I bought all new tools. These are Tronex, and they're really nice. They are really nice, and the tips are so fine. Really excited to be working with these. So that's what I'll be using today. Can't wait to get started with them. And we're going to start weaving about 4.5 inches from the beginning of your wires. That's about 12 centimetres. So we're working over all 4 wires. We're going to start with 3 wraps around the bottom wire. So we'll go around both the bottom wires. We'll do that twice. Up between those bottom 2 wires. I'll go over the 3rd wire. Back up between the bottom 2. Back over the 3rd wire. So we've done that one twice. Come up between the middle 2 wires. Over the top. Back up between the middle 2 wires. And then over the top again. Come up between the bottom 2 wires. Over the 3rd wire. Come up between the bottom 2 wires again, over the 3rd wire, and then over those bottom 2 wires twice, and then we'll do 3 wraps around the bottom wire. So that's our repeat. So I've repeated that weave 4 times. Now we're going to continue weaving over the 3 wires. So we bend this one down for now. So over the 3 wires, we'll go 3 times around the bottom wire, and I'm going to wrap twice around the bottom 2 wires, twice around all 3 wires, twice around the bottom 2 wires, and then twice around the bottom wire. So as you're doing this weave, you have to be really careful that you don't pull the wires together too close as you're working, because when you go around all 3 wires, it's easy to pull them all together and then you can't fit the other wires in, that when you push them together it won't go. So just make sure that you don't pull too tight on the weave as you go in. Try and just let the wire follow what you're doing rather than putting any pressure on it. Just gently bend it around the wire so you don't want too much tension in there. So when you go around all 3, it's not that tight. And keep pushing your weaves together as you go to keep it tidy. And with these repeats, what we're going to do is we're going to put our bead on this wire here. And you need to repeat this as many times as it takes to reach around your bead. My bead is quite big, so I'm going to need quite a few repeats. So you need to do as many repeats as is needed to get around your bead. So I've done 10 repeats, and I'm going to try my bead now for size to see if I need to do any more repeats. If you've got nylon pliers, as you're working, well, as what I do when I'm working, is I like to just go over the weaves and flatten them all down. It just makes them look nice and flat. Cut that tail end off there. I've just cut that tail end off with my new cutters and I can't feel it. There's no sharp end at all. So I'm gonna put my bead on this wire. Just gonna sit there. And I'm gonna gently start to bend this around the top. I think I might need a few more repeats. Fits quite well. So if you've got a 20mm bead, then 10 repeats should go around just nicely. It's hard to show you with these long wires. So now I'm going to take the wire that comes out the other side of the bead and bend that so it's nice and flush with the bead. Like that. I think I'm going to add another repeat anyway, because I don't want it to be that tight. I want a little bit of a gap there. So I'm going to add another repeat onto this, the 3 wires. I've added another repeat and I'm much happier with that. So I've got 11 repeats now. So do as many repeats as you need to get all the way around your bead, bend your bead wire, and we're ready to carry on again over the 4 wires. And now we need to do the same weave as this side and the same amount of repeats. So first I'm going to pull these weaves together and I'm going to bend these wires just over there a little bit out the way so I can weave over these 4. Just get the wires to sit where I want them to. So I'm going to go around the bottom 2 wires once just to hold it together. And then I'll go around the bottom wire, around the bottom wire 3 times. So we're copying what it looks like on this side, or as near as. Oh, I keep crashing into all these wires. So we go around the bottom 2 wires, between those bottom 2 wires, around the next 2 wires twice, up between those 2 wires, around the top 2 wires twice, between the bottom 2 wires. So we're doing exactly what we did on the other side, over that 3rd wire, do that twice, under the bottom and around the bottom 2 wires, we do that twice, and then we wrap 3 times around that bottom wire. And that's my dog snoring in the background. So you need to repeat that as many times as you did on the other side. Mine is 4. So that's my 4 repeats. And if you grab hold of your bead and push it that direction, it just pushes that wire in a better place, because mine kept slipping down. It's staying in place now. So that's what we've got so far. So now we need to bend these weaves in to meet each other. This is why I put an extra repeat at the bottom there, because it does pull it a bit tight as you bring it together at the top there. So you've got that shape. So now grip the top of where the weave ends there, and bend the wires straight up like that. I'm going to do the same for this side as well. So grab at the top of the weave and bend all of the wires straight up. Like that. So now we're going to turn to the back, and you have got a right side and a wrong side on this. If you look at the weave, we've got a nice zigzag at the front there. If we turn it over, it looks slightly different. So that's the back. So now we're going to work with the back facing us. And we're going to take the two outer wires and just bend them out the way a little bit, and those two outer wires on that side, just bend them over out the way. And we're going to weave over these middle four wires. So you need to straighten them out a bit, get them where you want them. And we're going to go across these four middle wires. So move your weaving wire so it's coming under the bottom wire, and we'll go around these two bottom wires to start with. Come up between those two wires, and we're going to go around the next two. You want them close, but you don't want them too close. You want to be able to get the wire in between them still. Go around those twice, and they keep pulling back together. I want a little gap in the middle. Bring the wire into that gap between those middle two wires and go around the top two. This does get easier. Once all your wires are held together, it'll be easier to weave. And go up between first and second wire and go around those middle two wires twice. And then go around the bottom two wires twice. So this is like our zigzag weave from before, but we're not going to do the 3 wraps around the bottom wire. When you get to the end, we're just going to go straight up between those bottom two wires and repeat it again, so you've got a nice little zigzag pattern appearing. So I think we need to repeat that a few more times. Because we're working it with the back facing us, because this weave is going to bend over to the front, so we want to be able to see this side of the weave. So that's why we're working with the back facing. So while you're doing this weave, I just want to take the opportunity to tell you that I've recently finished and uploaded my new website. Now, a few of you have said to me, oh, you know, the links don't work, and some people prefer not to use Etsy. So I've set up my own website now, and it's all up and running and working, and it's using my original link, kellyjjewellery.co.uk. All my tutorials are on there, all my PDFs, all my finished jewellery is on there. So get yourself on over and have a look. I'm really excited about it. I'm really pleased with it. Just thought I'd tell you that. I'll put a link in the description below. So keep repeating that. I think we'll do another repeat on that, and then we'll move on to the next part. So I've done another 2 repeats on that, so I've got a total of 5 repeats there. Must apologise for my camera keep going out of focus. So if you turn back to the front now, make sure you definitely got the front facing. If you look at your weaves, you can see that. Now we're going to bend this big weave over to the front. If you've got bail pliers, then use those. If not, you can use your round nose pliers or a very thin pen, pencil, knitting needle. I'm going to bend these 2 wires to the back just to get them out the way for a minute. I'm going to use my bail pliers. What you want to do is just scoop this over like that. Just got it scooped over to the front. So I've pushed it to the, if you grip it here at the base of the, where all the wires join, I've pushed it back a little bit. So you've got a bit of a curve, just sticks out the back a little bit. So now we're going to carry on weaving some more. So what I'm going to do now, this top part where it comes over the top, I'm going to squash it to the one way a little bit. Squashing it over to the left a little bit, just so we've got a little bit of a curve on it. So it definitely tips in the one direction. And then I'm going to shape these wires to go in this direction over here. So these 2 come up quite high, and these 2 come across the bottom part, the side part of the stone there, like that. And we're going to do a figure of 8 weave across this gap, and we're going to keep weaving across these 2 and these 2 at the same time, and then we're going to finish off the wires around the edges. That's the plan. So go around those 2 bottom wires twice and come up between those 2 bottom wires. And then go over the 3rd wire like that. We'll go around that one 3 times. No, go around it twice, then go around the 2 wires twice, then over that 2nd wire. Go around that 2nd wire twice, around the 2 wires twice, and then go straight over the 3rd wire. So we're going to keep repeating that. Around that wire twice, around both wires twice, over that second wire. I'm going to go around that one twice, around both bottom wires twice, and then over that third wire. So you need to keep repeating this and try not to let your wires come in towards each other when you keep that nice gap in the middle like that, and try and keep their nice curved shape as well. We'll see how we get on. So that's how many repeats I did, just to get it to there so it reaches the edge of the stone. And I'm going to wrap this one over to the back, but I'll do that in a minute. For now I'm going to carry on weaving on this one and go between the two wires, and wrap around the top wire 3 times, and then go around both wires twice, back up between, and go back around that top wire 3 times, and that will be our repeat. 3 times around the top wire, twice around both, and we'll do that about 6 or 8 times. So I did 10 repeats. I've got the idea down of what I want to make, but I am making the rest up as I go, so sorry about that. 10 repeats on that weave there. I'm going to bend it around the bottom of the stone like that. I think it's best to bend the top one around the back to hold it in place. So where that meets the edge, bend that around to the back. It'll definitely hold it in place now. So this weave goes around the bottom of the bead, and I think I'm going to keep repeating it a little bit further. So I've added a few more repeats onto that weave across the 2 wires there, and I'm going to cut that from my bobbin. I have to let a bit more wire off. So I'm keeping about 1 metre of wire. Cut that off there. And I'm going to take these 2 wires and the weaving wire, I'll do that in a bit. I'm going to post them through the gap between the big weave and the stone there, the bead, because there's a nice gap between the 2. So gently bend these wires so they go through there. And my weave is twisted a little bit. I'm just going to straighten that out. So I want that weave to sit nicely along that edge around the stone, and then I'm going to bend those flat to there, try not to let them cross over. I'm going to fiddle with that until I'm happy with the shape. So I'm happy with that shape now. I've just adjusted it a little bit so it sits along the weave and it covers the gap between the stone and the weave there. And now I'm going to post the weaving wire through as well, so we can carry on weaving onto those 2 wires. And I've straightened my wires with my nylon pliers as well, so I need to straighten those wires back out. So that's what I've got so far. This would also look nice in copper, if we wanted to do it in copper and oxidise it. I'm using silver filled today, so I won't be oxidising silver filled. I don't know if anybody else oxidises silver filled. I find that I tend to rub the silver off with the wire wool. So it's only fine wire wool. I don't think there's much of a coating on this silver filled. So I'm going to be keeping this one shiny. Now I'm going to weave over these two wires here. And I'm going to go 3 times around the bottom wire. And then 3 times around both wires. And I'll keep repeating that. So I've done 8 repeats on that little 3-3 weave there. Take the weave, bend it around, so it looks like that. So I'm going to pull it around at the top of the weave so it bends back in like that. And as it passes this weave on this peak, I'm going to secure it to that back weave so it doesn't keep moving around. Just going to go straight around the weave. And then pushing the weaves together so it's nice and secure. Go straight over the top and around the 2 wires. Like that. I'm going to finish with a few coils on this bottom wire. So now I'm going to cut my weaving wire. And I'm going to bend this wire down and curl it. And I'm going to bend this one up and curve that. Curl that. So I'm going to pull that one down. Curl that one up. So I'm going to cut this wire. About there. And cut this one about there. So that's what I've got so far. Now with round nose pliers, I'm going to curl this one around to tuck into there. It's hard to show you with all these long wires sticking off of there. These pliers are so tiny. The tips are so tiny. And this one, I'm going to curl the other way. Like that. So with these two wires here, I'm going to bend them over the front like to match the weave, like that. And I'm going to scoop them around to follow the weave. But I'm going to overlap the weave. I'm pressing down there on that corner. I'm going to bend them around to a curl. Try not to let them cross over each other like I have. And then I'm going to take a little bit of weaving wire. I've just got a short length here. I'm going to secure it down before I do anything else. So I'm going to wrap 3 times around that bottom wire. I'll go twice around the bottom wire, twice around both wires, and then I'm going to go around the weave. The weave that's underneath. I'll try and post it between the stone and the weave. And then press it into place. Come around the other side in between those 2 wires. You want to go a few wraps around that bottom wire. And here I'm going to separate the wires. This one I'm going to send up again into a curl and finish off there. And this one is going to come down. I'm going to add a few more coils to it. And you can do whatever you want with these wires. As soon as you've got the basic design down, you've got your scoop along the top. This is going to be the bail where you put your string or your cord or your chain through. You can do whatever you like, make it your own. And I'd love to see everybody's different versions of it over on Facebook. If any of you are on Facebook, I'll put a link in the description below. If you come and share on my page, that would be awesome. I'm going to just finish off these 2 wires the same as I did the other 2. This one I'm going to scoop up here, and this one I'm going to bring down here and scoop around here. So I'm going to cut off the tail end from the beginning of the wire. These cutters don't leave any sharp edges. I'm going to scoop this one down, so I'm going to need to secure that there. So I'll just pop it around the weave. Didn't really want it going around that weave as well. So I'm going to fiddle with that, and then I shall come back and show you what I've done. I've posted the weaving wire around the back there, and I've brought it up between the weaves so that that wire will stay there. Go around that a few times. Sorry if I keep going off camera. I'll cut that weaving wire. So I'm going to cut this wire about there. And cut this one about here. And then with round nose pliers, I'm going to curl this one up and this one in at the bottom. Like that. Take these last two wires. I'm going to scoop them over as I have with that one there. Kind of matching up both sides. I'm going to overlap that wire a little bit, so I've got something to lean on. Oops. I'm going to curl those wires all the way over. And then I'm going to take them around to follow the other wires. I'm going to tuck them underneath that bit there, so they then sit across the back with those other wires. So I'm going to finish all these wires by just cutting them short, folding them over that big weave at the back there. I think I'll leave a bit of length on so I've got something to grip when I bend it over the weave. So fiddly to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to do this and then I'll come back. I think I am going to cut them a little bit shorter. So I cut them off a little bit shorter and just bent them over that back weave there. Then we're done. Just thought I'd show you a different way to wrap a little bead. You can pop your chain straight through the bail there. Something a bit different this week. I hope you found this tutorial useful. And thanks for watching.